Hey, what is up? What is up? Today, I'm going to be reacting to what happened before history, human origins. The last video that I uploaded on this channel is where I reacted to the entire history of the world, I guess. That was a great video. It had a lot of stuff going on. So in the spirit of watching a history video as my first video, I thought why not continue on watching more history videos? Why not watch something about humans to be my second video? I'm going to probably start doing more history videos. Then I'll branch out and do different things. But for now, at least, I think history videos are my bread and butter. Okay, let's go.
The world we live in feels normal, ordinary. It feels like this is just how humans exist and always existed. But it's not. Never before have we humans lived in a world as sophisticated and engineered to our needs as today, giving us the luxury to forget about ourselves and not worry about survival.
It happens to me too. I have not worried about survival in a long time. I don't need to think about getting food. I don't have to think about where I'm going to sleep, how I'm going to sleep, if I'm going to be safe when I sleep. Even if I get sick, I don't have to worry about that. I'm not going to die from getting sick. But I would imagine in the past, like if people got sick, that would be like a life and death struggle for them. But for me, it's just another day.
Food, shelter, security, all of this is more or less taken for granted. But we're a special few. For more than 99.99% of human history, life was completely different. And there's no such thing as just one human history. Our story begins 6 million years ago, when the tribe of hominini split and our relationship with the
Hominini what?
6 million years ago, when the tribe of hominini split and our relationship with the apes ended. 2.8 million years ago, the genus of Homo, the first humans, emerged. We like to think of ourselves as the only humans, but this is far from the truth. When we, Homo sapiens sapiens, came into existence 200,000
Homo sapiens sapiens? Why is there another sapiens? I thought we were just Homo sapiens, bro. Am I just like completely uneducated? I thought our species is called Homo sapiens, not Homo sapiens sapiens.
1,000 years ago, there were at least 6 other human species around. Cousins of comparable intelligence and ability, which must have been incredibly scary, kind of like living with aliens. Some of them were very successful. Homo erectus, for example, survived for 2 million years. 10 times longer than modern humans have existed.
They survived for 2 million years and you're saying they have comparable intelligence to us. And they survived for 2 million years and they haven't done shit? Bro, how are you calling them comparable intelligence to us when they haven't even done anything, bro? We don't even know they existed. They existed for 2 million years. Where's the skyscrapers at?
The last of the other humans disappeared around 10,000 years ago. We don't know what caused them to die out. Modern humans have at least a few % of Neanderthal and other human DNA, so there was some mixing, but certainly not enough to be a merger between species. So we don't know if our cousins went away because they lost the battle over resources or because of a series of minor genocides. Either way, only we remain. Back to
I mean, they existed for 2 million years and just going out because they left out of food or just died to a war. Humans have fought so many wars, like as a species, but we still survived so many wars and we haven't went extinct. If there are like 4 or 5 species that are comparable intelligence to us and they all went extinct, even though some of them even lived like crazy amounts of time, like 2 million years, and they still went extinct, and you're calling them comparable intelligence to us, bro? I don't think they have the comparable intelligence to us. I'm just saying. Hey, I'm just gonna
the beginnings of humanity. 2.8 million years ago, early humans used tools, but did not make a lot of progress for nearly 2 million years. Until they learned to control fire. Fire meant cooking, which made food more nutritious, which contributed to the development of our brain. It also produced light and warmth, which made days longer and winters.
Cooking your food is like really helpful. I know a little bit about this. Cooking your food just makes it more digestible. Your body doesn't need to do the extra work of actually breaking down the meat when the fire does it for you and even kills the bacteria, so your body has to do less work to actually digest the meat. So it makes less sense for people to go around, say Liver King for example, like bro is eating like raw meat. That's not gonna help him at all, bro. Even in the ancestor days, hundreds of thousands of years ago, like even millions of years ago, when humans, other human species existed, they didn't like eat the meat raw. They even didn't eat the meat raw. Like that helped them. Like eating the meat raw, like right now, as a new scientific method or whatever they're calling this new nonsense, like it doesn't work at all. Like how does this work, bro? Cooking your meat is the way to go. Like
less gruesome.
Right.
On top of that, it not only scared predators away, it could also be used for hunting. A torched wood or grassland provided small animals, nuts and tubers that were pre-roasted. From 300,000 years ago, most of the different human species lived in small hunter-gatherer societies. They had fire, wood and stone tools, planned for the future, buried their dead, and had cultures of their own. But most importantly, they spoke to each other, probably in a kind of proto-language less complex than ours. If we had a time machine, how far would we be able to go back, steal a few babies, and raise them today without anyone noticing that they're a bit different?
That's a nice hypothetical question right there, bro. That's a nice hypothetical question. I don't know. I feel like humans. He said Homo sapiens. I still can't believe it's called sapiens, bro. I always thought in my entire life, I always thought it was Homo sapiens, not Homo sapiens. What is that? What is that name? Okay, so I think like humans as a species, like Homo sapiens, right? I'm gonna still call them Homo sapiens because that's what I'm used to. I don't care. Okay, Homo sapiens as a species is about 100,000 years old, which in the grand scheme of things is not that old. So I'm expecting at least like, if we consider ourselves as a species, like we divide from other human species into our own species. So the division happened about 100,000 years ago, right? So I'm thinking 100,000 years. I'm going all the way. I'm going all the way, bro. I don't do these mild risks. I'm going all the way 100,000 years, and I'm saying that 100,000 years ago, humans had at least same kind of potential as humans have right now. That's crazy, but I don't know if it's true or not, but we're going to see in the video.
There is much debate. Anatomically modern humans emerged 200,000 years ago, but probably 70,000 years is as far as we could travel back and still snatch a behaviorally modern human.
Damn, bro. You know, I was close though. I was close. I thought we evolved like 100,000 years ago, but turns out it's 200,000 years ago. God damn. God damn it. Okay, 70,000 years ago. Yeah, it's really hard to like know that though. It's really hard to know, but I guess I was wrong in the end.
Before that, the babies would probably lack a few crucial gene mutations necessary to build a brain with modern language and abstract thinking abilities. At some point around 50,000 years ago, there was an explosion in innovation. Tools and weapons became more sophisticated, and culture became more complex. Tools and weapons. Around 50,000 years ago, there was an explosion in innovation. Tools and weapons became more sophisticated, and culture became more complex. Because at this point, humans had a multi-purpose brain and a more
Wait. Let me just move my camera. I think that's good. Okay.
advanced language to communicate information with each other effectively and down to the last detail. This allowed much closer cooperation and is what really makes us different from any other creature on Earth. Not our comparatively weak bodies and inferior senses, but the ability to cooperate flexibly in large groups, unlike, for example, rigid beehives or intimate but tiny wolf packs. As our brain
humans are social creatures, but wolves are social creatures too, though. So why weren't they able to like compete with us? I think we were just special, bro. I'm just gonna say it. I think we were just special, Homo sapiens. There were a lot of human species, right? Like, there were like so many different human species out there, and they lived for comparatively longer periods of time compared to us. Like 2 million years is a long time to live without achieving nothing, bro. They did nothing. We can't even, but we lived for like what, 200,000 years max, and we still able to achieve so many things. And even
evolved, we became able to do something life had been unable to do up to this point. 1. Expand knowledge quickly. 2. Preserve the knowledge gained over generations. 3. Build on past knowledge to gain even deeper insight.
This is massive. This is like really massive. You don't have to like spend your entire life learning the exact same thing your parents have already learned. Like you don't need to spend like 10 years learning the exact same thing they spent 10 years learning, which like completely makes their past experience completely irrelevant. That's why we have schools and teachers. Like that helps us, that makes us so much more productive. There's a reason why most of the things, technological things, happen in the past 500 years, right? I don't know if it's accurate, but I'm just gonna yap. Okay, a theory I have is why majority of the technological advancements came in the past 500 years is because of education. I definitely think that like the why, like as long as you can pass on your past knowledge, the knowledge you have to the new generation, and they can expand that knowledge and give it to the next generation, as long as the cycle keeps going, which you're always going to get better and better. I think humans are just like really good at that, specifically because we have language we can speak out. But written language did so much as well. I forgot about that. Written language did a lot help as well, because you don't have to learn from the knowledge from your parents or people you can actually communicate with. You can learn things from people like thousands of years ago, like hundreds of years ago. Like imagine Socrates or philosophers from like past like thousands of years of age. They can communicate their thoughts with you because of written format. I think that was massive as well. That's why I think humans like really popped off with these two things. Written language helped us just like reach this kind of level, at least in my opinion. I don't know though. If you guys have different opinions on that, just put them in the comments down below, because I'm always curious to learn about these new things. Okay, it's just my theory though.
This seems daft, but until then, information had to be passed on from generation to generation, mostly through genetics, which is not efficient. Still, for the next 40,000 years, human life remained more or less.
So it is mostly learned through genetics. I do think that's true as well. I do see chickens, the chickens that hatch immediately know how to dig with their feet and take food from the ground. Like actual chickens, not like chickens that's raised for slaughter, but actual chickens that can roam around and dig for food, right? I'm talking about those chickens, not the that I'm not really good at, but we're gonna keep moving.
There was little to build upon. Our ancestors were only one animal among many. Building a skyscraper without knowing what a house is hard. But while it's easy to be arrogant in our attitude to our ancestors, this would be ignorant. Humans 50,000 years ago were survival specialists. They had a detailed mental map of their territory, their senses were fine-tuned to the environment, they knew and memorized a great amount of information about plants and animals. They could make complicated tools that required years of careful training and very fine motor skills. Their bodies compared to our athletes today just because of their daily routines, and they lived a rich social life within their tribe. Survival required so many skills that the average brain volume of early modern humans might even have been bigger than it is today.
We got dumber? That's crazy, bro. We actually might have gotten dumber. I haven't thought about it like that. Yeah, they did, like, in terms of physically, they're superior to the average human right now. Obviously, it's not even a competition, I don't think. Like, these guys hunted for food, and if they don't hunt for food, they are dead. You gotta compete with what? Lions and tigers and what? Hyenas, bro. You gotta compete with the apex predators of the world out there. You had to compete with them for food, and you gotta survive against the natural world. As a human, you will know you don't have that much defense, bro. Our defense stats are completely garbage. We could just like, we get poked by one thorn and we're already bleeding out. If a thorn pokes rhino or a tiger or anything like that, they don't do all that much damage to them because they have thick hides. We have just very soft skins and we get damaged quite easily.
As a group, we know more today, but as individuals, our ancestors were superior to us. But then, around 12,000 years ago in multiple locations,
we got mugged. We got mugged, bro. We got mugged.
Humans developed agriculture. Everything changed very quickly. Before, survival as a hunter and forager required superb physical and mental abilities in all fields from everybody. With the rise of the agricultural age, individuals could increasingly rely on the skills of others for survival. This meant that some of them could specialize. Maybe they worked on better tools. Maybe they took time to breed more resistant crops or better livestock.
Yo, this is it. So I have two things that I would say helped humans a lot: transferable knowledge and being freed up to specialize in things. Because if you specialize in one thing, you're actually gonna completely mug a guy who can do everything but mediocrely. People say jack of all trades but a master of none is being better than a specialist in one, or something like that. Maybe I just made that last one up, but see, like, but I don't think that's true at all. Being like a jack of all trades is not good as an entire species, because you're just not going to compete with the guy who can specialize in one thing and one thing only. He's just going to completely destroy you in that one thing. You stand no chance against him, bro. Trust me on this one. They think about this 24/7. Their entire life is just, entire life purpose is entirely focused on this one specific thing. How can you beat this guy whose entire life is programmed for one specific thing, and you have like 500 different interests? How are you going to compete with this one guy? It's impossible. You're not going to compete at all.
Maybe they started inventing things. As farming got more and more efficient, what we call civilization began. Agriculture gave us a reliable and predictable food source, which allowed humans to hoard food on a large scale for the first time, which is much easier to do with grains than meat. A food stock required protection.
Yeah. If you hunted food, you can't even store the freaking food. You gotta hunt every single day. Like, basically, to eat food, because you can't even, like, keep it for a rainy day. Bro, you're cooked. Oh my god, the more I think about, the bad it gets. Like, imagine in winter, bro, you gotta go out hunting for winter. Farming really made us OP. Like, I wasn't thinking, oh my god, it really helped us.
Which led to communities living together in tighter spaces. First, early defense structures were built. The need for organization grew. The more organized we got, the faster things became efficient. Villages became cities, cities became kingdoms, kingdoms became empires. Connections between humans exploded, which led to opportunities to exchange knowledge. Progress became exponential. About 500 years ago, the scientific revolution began. Mathematics, physics, astronomy, biology, and chemistry transformed everything we thought we knew. The Industrial Revolution followed soon after, laying the foundation for the modern world. As our overall efficiency grew exponentially, more people could spend their lifetime contributing to the progress of humanity. Revolutions kept happening. The invention of the computer, its evolution into a medium we all use on a daily basis, and the rise of the internet shaped our world. It's hard to grasp how fast all of that happened. It's been about 125,000 generations since the emergence of the first human species.
125,000. 125,000 generations, and that's 200,000 years. The first few generations, like, really didn't live that long. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense at all. At least most of the generations, I'm expecting to have kids like really young, because there's like no other way for there to be only 125,000 generations in 200,000 years. They might have like kids like really young. Otherwise, it's like impossible.
About 7,500 generations since the emergence of the first human species. About 125.
Go back.
It's hard to grasp how fast all of that happened. It's been about 125,000 generations since the emergence of the first human species.
125,000 since the first human species. Okay, so it's like 6 million years. I thought there were 125,000 generations in 200,000 years, which, now thinking about it, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Yeah, 6 million makes more sense. 6 million years, that makes a lot more sense.
Species. About 7,500 generations since the physiologically modern human saw the light of day. 500 generations ago, what we call civilization began. 20 generations ago, we learned.
These are not like that massive of numbers. 20. It actually happened so
how
fast.
to do science.
This
And
visualizes
the
it so
internet
nicely.
became available to most people only one generation ago. Today, we live in the most prosperous age humanity has ever experienced. We have transformed this planet, from the composition of its atmosphere to large-scale changes in its landscape, and also in terms of the other animals in existence. We light up the night with artificial stars and put people in a metal box in the sky. Some have even walked on our moon. We put robots on other planets. We've looked deep into the past of the universe with mechanical eyes. Our knowledge and our way of acquiring and storing more of it has exploded. The average high school student today knows more about the universe than a scholar a few centuries ago. Humans dominate this planet, even if our rule is very fragile. We are still not that different from our ancestors 70,000 years ago.
How is our rule fragile though? I think it's pretty iron solid. There's like no other species living on this planet that can actually take out humans. Like, the only species that can actually take out humans are humans, damn it.
But your lifestyle has existed for less than 0.001% of human history. From here on, there's no saying what the future holds for us. We're building a skyscraper, but we're not sure if it's standing on a solid foundation or if we're building it on quicksand. Let's leave it with that for now. The next time you miss your train, your burger is not hot enough, or someone cuts in line, remember how special this made-up human world is. Maybe it's not worth being upset about all those little things. Okay, this was our
Nice video though. W it.